It's known in Kiev. This is our time. The main news at this hour, in the studio, Valery Klemenko. The US and Europe must make Putin stop. A unilateral ceasefire in the skies is possible. This is how the president of Ukraine responded to last night's massive Russian attack. According to him, Russia launched more than 50 missiles and 500 attack drones last night. Shaheeds, cruise missiles, and Kinzhals were used. 9 regions came under attack. 5 people were killed, and about 10 were injured. Rescue operations are ongoing. Emergency services are working at the sites.
Today, Russia once again struck our infrastructure. Everything that ensures a normal life for people is under attack. We need more protection. It is necessary to accelerate the implementation of all defense agreements, especially regarding air defense, to render this aerial terror meaningless. A unilateral ceasefire in the skies is possible. That is exactly what could open the way to real diplomacy. America and Europe must act to force Putin to stop. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
A family of 4 fell victim to a Russian strike on Lviv last night. Russia attacked the city with missiles and strike drones. The targets were infrastructure facilities and residential buildings. Fires broke out in certain areas of the city, and some places are without electricity. We have our correspondent in Lviv, Yulia Byl, live with us. Welcome. What is known at this moment?
Starting at 3 in the morning, an air raid alert was declared in the city, which lasted almost 6 hours. Throughout this time, numerous explosions were heard in different parts of the city. The city was attacked by drones as well as cruise missiles. Because of the massive strike, public transportation did not run its routes in the morning. However, service has now resumed. Part of Lviv remains without electricity. Thick smoke has risen over the city. Residents are being asked to keep their windows closed and not to go outside unless absolutely necessary. There are currently no confirmed reports of hazardous emissions. It is also known that in many homes, windows and doors were blown out. It is also reported that several residential houses outside the city have been destroyed. According to preliminary information, an entire family of 4 has died. Among them is an underage girl, reportedly 16 years old. Another family member and 2 residents of neighboring houses have been hospitalized. 3 other victims received assistance at the scene. We spoke with the residents. Let's listen to what they had to say.
The night was truly very restless. They barely slept at all. And there was a lot to hear. I don't even know what to call it. Explosions, gunfire, air defense systems at work. Our forces were targeting all those drones and missiles that were flying because they said it was a combined attack. In my own house, the entire roof, all the slate, is destroyed. There's nothing to patch up. I'll have to replace it completely. Plus, the windows and glass are shattered. We'll keep inspecting further.
Locally, as a result of Russian shelling, a school and a kindergarten were damaged. More than 7 businesses were affected, including an industrial park where the fire is still being put out. We are staying on site and will continue to monitor the situation. That's all from me. Thank you.
Khalid. We were joined by our correspondent Yulia Byl, who reported on the situation in the city of Lviv after the massive Russian attack. Ivano-Frankivsk region was also hit last night, with critical infrastructure facilities targeted. This was reported by the Regional Military Administration. According to preliminary data, there were no casualties, but a residential building was damaged in one of the communities. There was also a casualty in Zaporizhzhia, where Russian drones and guided aerial bombs attacked residential neighborhoods, damaging apartment buildings and private homes, burning cars, and injuring 10 people. More than 73,000 subscribers were left without electricity. Energy workers plan to complete all restoration work by the end of the day. More than 290 subscribers also lost gas supply due to the attack.
I was sleeping, I fell asleep, then I woke up and everything shook.
But
I pulled myself together. And basically, I started running around, realized something was going on, and started talking to myself. So basically, they started telling us to get out because there was a strong smell of gas.
The Russians also attacked Chernihiv last night. One of the drones hit an industrial facility, causing a fire, and there was also a strike on an energy facility. In one of the districts, there was an emergency power outage. Over the past day, Russia shelled 27 settlements in the region 55 times. Hourly power outages continue in the region. Energy workers are working to reduce the restrictions. Russia attacked Sloviansk with 3 aerial bombs. 2 strikes hit an apartment building in the city center. The roof was damaged and the end wall of the building was pierced. The city art school was also damaged. 8 people were taken to the hospital, including a 13-year-old teenager. About 25 residential buildings, 24 cars, and the facades of shops were damaged.
The blast wave
was really strong, a very powerful wave. Something started to whistle. Then it hit me. I didn't have time to run out of the room, and then 2 hit at once.
Chernihiv will change routes to frontline cities due to the threat of Russian shelling. This was reported by the head of the company's board, Oleksandr Peretsyavsky. According to him, some routes will become combined, with trains being replaced by buses on certain sections. This is necessary to reduce risks for passengers and staff, but rail connections with frontline communities will be maintained. Passengers are asked to carefully follow announcements and obey the instructions of train crews and station staff, as routes may change even while en route. Chernihiv is doing everything possible to ensure safety.
We are restructuring in a certain way. I won't go into detail about this, but we are adjusting our routes. We are making them combined to reduce security risks. We ask all passengers to listen to the instructions of train crews and station staff. Some sections will be covered by buses, and routes will be changed. Oleksandr Peretsyavsky, chairman of the board of Chernihiv, speaking live on the United News telephone.
Estonia has exhausted its capabilities to counter Russia's shadow fleet. Now broader international action is required. This was reported by the Estonian National Broadcasting Portal. According to Estonian intelligence, 60% of tankers from Russia's shadow fleet pass through the Baltic Sea. Tough measures are needed against the aggressor country, and as soon as possible, says the head of the office of the President of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak. Andriy Dmitrenko will tell you more about this.
The European Union is preparing legal grounds to stop tankers from Russia's shadow fleet in the Baltic Sea, reported the head of the office of the President of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak. Brussels also plans to expand the list of sanctioned vessels. In the new 19th
sanctions package, the EU plans to add another 120 oil tankers from Russia's shadow fleet, increasing its blacklist to 568 vessels. Some of them no longer formally enter EU ports, but continue to use the Baltic Sea for transportation. The use of international law mechanisms and the willingness of NATO countries to enforce them is a key signal to the Kremlin. Its attempts to circumvent sanctions are not working. It is necessary to restrict Russia's capabilities more quickly. Moscow is already waging a hybrid war against Europe, and in this situation, speed plays a crucial role. Andriy Yermak, head of the office of the President of Ukraine, on Telegram. At the end of September, France detained one of the ships
of the Russian shadow fleet. The French military inspected the tanker Varaki near the island of Ushant off the coast of Brittany due to discrepancies in its registration data. The captain was served a court summons and accused of violating official orders from the French authorities during the inspection at sea, but the vessel was released. Previously, the same tanker, but under the name Kevala, had already been detained in Estonia. Brussels and London imposed sanctions against this vessel, the EU in October 2024, and the United Kingdom in February 2025. Experts believe that, to truly combat the aggressor country's shadow fleet, European countries need to take more decisive action.
Public organizations and experts have long been saying that changes need to be made and adopted in EU legislation and even in international maritime law, so that ships without proper insurance or a flag are addressed. They should be completely and utterly outlawed. Break time equals 0.5s/, and any sovereign country should have the absolute right not only to detain, arrest, and confiscate them, but also to send them directly for scrap and destruction.
Pressure from Kiev's partners is helping to disrupt the supply chains of Russian oil. Starting November 1st, one of China's largest ports, Qingdao, will restrict the entry of old ships as well as tankers with expired or recently changed registrations. The Chinese authorities made this decision after the U.S. imposed restrictions in August 2025 against one of China's oil operators.
I'm not so sure that China will give up Russian oil because of these reasons. Yes, there will be certain restrictions. China doesn't really want to get into a sharp conflict with the Trump administration, so they will take some protective measures. But again, I think Russia will try to get around these barriers, and at this point, I don't see any real reason for optimism that Russian oil supplies to China will sharply decrease.
The Group of 7 countries have agreed to increase pressure on Russia's oil industry, according to a joint statement by the Group of 7 finance ministers. The Group of 7 is preparing local economic measures to reduce Moscow's revenues. According to analysts, this could include new restrictions on the Russian shadow fleet. Andrei Dmitrienko for Frida TV.
Subscribe to The Gaze and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.